Back. I want to properly set up the video that we saw and that we had Samantha comment on. There was a presentation being held at the Capitol for legislators, and there was this vibe of sort of like an anti-school choice, and I'm probably going to get nailed for calling it that, but that's essentially what it was. So all these questions were flying because there's a bill that's supposedly going to be presented soon that's going to offer a $5,000 tax credit to homeschooling and private school families who opt in and want to take it. And it's simply a tax credit. So this has nothing to do with the state being involved in your education. There's no strings attached. There's no money going to private schools or any vouchers or anything like that. It's simply a tax credit that you can take. And so that bill we'll follow closely as it comes out. But it was during this presentation that Representative Mickelsen made the following comments. So let's roll that video again.
Schooling and some of the impact there. Does a homeschool parent just say, I'm homeschooling my child, no requirements beyond that? And what if they homeschool them for, 2 or 3 weeks, take the tax credit and dump them into the public school system? And then what are the outcomes for kids that have been in the homeschool system as far as being functional adults?
Again, I thank Think Liberty Idaho for sharing that video and capturing that. We're going to try and get in Stefanie and her daughter Hallie in here. These are two homeschooling folks from a nice, wonderful family. And we may have a little bit of a connection issue, but let's give it a shot and see how it goes. Stefanie and Hallie, how are you?
Good, Matt. How are you?
Oh, good. You guys sound great. So when you saw this clip, what went through your head as a homeschooling family?
Well, when my mom showed it to me, my first reaction was, what are the guarantees that public schoolers are going to have good outcomes? Like, just because you're homeschooled doesn't change. Nothing's guaranteed, but I think homeschoolers in general have much better outcomes.
Yeah, my reaction was slightly different because I was kind of angry, honestly. I'm a little more knee-jerk reaction. But when she had that reaction, my first thought was, well, that's why we homeschool, because we teach our kids how to think rather than what to think. And so critical thinking skills, she didn't even miss a beat. She was like, well, of course outcomes aren't guaranteed. And so I guess that it kind of shows that Mickelsen, I know she's a new legislator. I think she should do some research and learn a little bit about homeschooling and Idaho families who homeschool. I also, my knee-jerk reaction was, is she really a Republican? Because her statement was pretty loaded, right? Like, what kind of regulations, how are we policing our homeschooling families in Idaho? And I think that's counter to the freedom and liberty values that we have here in Idaho.
Yeah, so true, so true. So, and Stefanie, as a homeschooling mom, is this something that I mean, have you always done this? Have you had experience with public schools? What is your background in this?
Well, I went to public school, and I think it was very different when I went to public school. I'm 53, so I was there a long time ago. We've always homeschooled because of some health things early on. I have twins. This is Hallie, her sister. Twin sister is Sydney. We just decided that homeschooling at the time was best for us because of health concerns. But once we got into it, we realized we would not do it any other way because we have so much freedom to expose the kids to things that public school isn't exposing them to. It's not natural to be locked up in rooms with 30 kids the same age and never engaging with people from different, age groups and demographics. And so because of the activities that we've been able to do, the girls, they interact with babies on up to octogenarians, and they do it really well. So I can't imagine doing it any other way.
Yeah, there's a stigma out there that says homeschoolers are weird. And that's, and I think the term weird is being used because they're looking at these kids and going, this is so strange, how nice and how pleasant and how forward
right.
and how engaging this person is. Because we're also, in our society, we're also used to just, walking with our head straight down, don't talk to strangers, don't engage, stay focused on what you're doing and don't worry about anybody else. But there's a wholeness that I see in homeschooling families that allows for that camaraderie, just like you said, and knowing how to engage from babies on up. It's incredible. Hallie, can I ask you, when you are meeting up with friends who have attended private schools or public schools or any other alternative school and everything, what is your experience? I mean, do you feel like you can hold your own?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, currently here in Idaho, most of my friends are homeschooled, and I get along with them better than I ever did my public school friends in California, which is where we were from before. And I think really the difference is homeschoolers, they just, like you said, they have this wholeness and this ability to connect in a really genuine way. I have really genuine friends here, and there are certainly functional adults that have, great jobs. And I mean, I have a friend who she graduated college with a bachelor's degree when she was 19, and now she's a credentialed teacher at a Christian school. Like, it's really crazy that people would say that homeschoolers don't have good outcomes and aren't functional adults. I think generally homeschoolers function pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I am so thankful that you guys came on. You're proving this representative wrong in all aspects. And I thank you for coming on. I hope to wish you the best in your endeavors. And as this tax credit bill or any other ideas that deal with school come down, I may want to turn to you and get your thoughts as well. So thank you for coming in.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Take care.